Alright guys and gals, good evening. My name is Steven. I'm here today to talk to you about my furnace. Okay, this is a video about what I learned about it, how I DIY'd some fixes, and my hope is that I can inspire you to learn about your furnace, that you can not have to call an HVAC person that's going to charge you $125 just to show up at the doorstep and then tell you that you need a bunch of parts that you might get upcharged on and then you need to pay them more to install it and all that stuff. Like, this is not that tough. You can do it, and let's go for it. So, a couple basic things that I learned about my furnace. So, furnace is downstairs, normally in the basement of your house. We're here in Madison, Wisconsin, climate zone 6. This is a gas furnace, and you know that because there's this black metal pipe here that is coming into your furnace. So this is the gas line, okay? This comes in here onto the side. The furnace needs gas to run. This is a natural gas furnace. It burns gas. It doesn't burn propane, or it's not an electric, or it doesn't run on just electricity. It's natural gas. But it also needs power here. It needs electricity to run the circuitry that's inside this thing, okay? Now this furnace is a 95.5% efficiency furnace, and what that means is that of the gas that it uses, 95.5% of that gas is converted into heat for the home. So it's really efficient, okay? This is a condensing furnace, and I know that because it has these two PVC pipes. So when the furnace runs, it burns natural gas that comes in here, and in order to burn the gas, it needs to bring in fresh air, and fresh air comes in this tube right here, the one on the left. And then when it burns the natural gas, there's some like unhealthy products of combustion, and the unhealthy stuff gets exhausted out this pipe on my right. Okay, so if you have these two white pipes, that means you have a really efficient furnace, probably like 90% or greater. In this case, mine is 95.5. Okay, now other things about the furnace. There's an upper compartment and a lower compartment. The upper compartment, before you ever go in here, guys, turn off the power right here. Click. The upper compartment, take this little turntables and turn them aside. This has what's called the inducer motor. It's this black thing right here. And this is what gets the bad gases up and out. And then inside here, I don't know if you can see this, there's the burners here. And I'm also going to show you some other stuff a little bit later about that. Below that, in this bottom panel, is where the blower motor sits. That's the motor that pushes all the air through your ducts and brings you heat and brings the cold air back to the furnace. Now, when you're getting into your furnace, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to figure out what make and model of my furnace do I have. So, I figured that out by taking off one of the bottom cover, and there's this little sticker thing on it, and it's got all the information right here, okay? So I took that information, I put it into Google, I got everything I needed to know, and then I actually wrote it right here on this panel, okay? Model number, serial number, order number, and when it was installed, okay? And I have a Guardian furnace, which is by York, and York is a company under Johnson Controls, okay? So, also on the back of this panel, there's a little code thing here, and this is it's a diagnostic fault codes little manual. So if when my furnace is running, something's not functioning properly, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a flashing light, and the flashing light is going to happen right down here, right where my finger is pointing. There's a little LED there, okay? And that thing's gonna flash, and it's gonna flash so that I can see it through that little window, okay? So then all I gotta do is I gotta take off this thing, this bottom compartment, and look and read these codes and say, and I can understand what it means. So in this case, you know, you might get, you know, a slow green means normal operation. Slow amber means normal operation with a call for heat, okay? So that just helps you diagnose stuff before you start freaking out. and calling people and paying them a bunch of money, okay? Continuing really quickly with the furnace overview, behind this wall right here is the heat exchanger. So that's where a piece of metal basically heats up really hot from these gas burners, which are right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. They heat up really hot, and then this blower motor, which is right down here, it's back there. You can see the side label. It's right where my finger is pointing. That thing blows air over the hot metal that's behind there, and then it goes out into the house, okay? Couple other parts. This thing right here that I'm touching with my finger is called the high limit switch. That means if it gets too hot in my furnace because something's not working, it shuts it down. This thing right here, this piece of black plastic, that's the condensate pan. It catches water. And this thing down here, when I'm touching with my finger, that's the door switch. That means if this bottom door comes off, the furnace will just shut down for safety. Okay? Now, what happened with my furnace and why am I making this video? Guys, look at all this orange stuff down here. You see that? That's evidence of water. There's more of it on this right diode electric thing here. There's more of it back there. You can kind of see. Let me see if I can zoom in there for you. You see that little orange stuff back there? There was evidence of water there. Guys, there was even water down here on the side. Like, water was coming out everywhere from this place, okay? Okay, guys, so like I said, water was coming out from this furnace and it was pooling up here and then it was going into the compartment down below. Now, I thought I had a bad heat exchanger, which is the thing that's behind this wall. And I diagnosed that that was not the case. How did I do that? I'm just a beginner, right? All I did was I came in here and I removed the high temperature limit switch once the furnace was off. I just took 2 screws and unscrewed it, okay? Then I took a little borescope that I got online for really cheap. I stuck it through the hole and I looked around inside that furnace, or inside the heat exchanger, and guess what? I didn't see any leaking water or evidence of water. So that means that all this water that was down here was not coming from behind that wall. Then I took off the inducer motor and I got to this condensate pan. It comes off super easy. And I took it out, I put some water in it, and lo and behold, there was water dripping from the bottom of the condensate pan when I put water in there. That means I had a leaking condensate pan. Now, most of the time when you have a leak in your furnace, people are going to say check your drain lines and stuff, like this one down here, or this one, or this one, or the one up here on the A coil, or the one over here on the right, okay? I checked all those. I blew air through them. They were all clean. So it was with my condensate pan. Now, this is a common issue with the Guardian York furnace. So if yours is dripping, it might be this thing right here. Okay? So when I put this little borescope thing through the hole where the high limit switch was, did not see any water in there. So I knew that the problem was not inside there. Okay? Then I verified that it was coming from the pan. I fixed that, and now I put a little paper towel down here just as a temporary thing. And guess what, guys? The paper towel is bone dry, and there's no evidence that there was ever water on there, okay? What I also did was I replaced the high limit switch. Cost me 10 bucks. You could do that in about 2 minutes. And I replaced this door switch right here. Again, 2 minutes to replace, cost me another 10 bucks. The actual condensate pan cost me 75 bucks. I got that from repairclinic.com. I don't represent them. I'm just telling you where I got it from. Other places wanted like 125 bucks. Like, prices were all over the map on that, so shop around. And that's how I fixed the furnace. So everything's been working fine now. If you're in a situation, guys, where your high limit switch is going off, you can just replace the switch and do one more thing. Clean your air filter. Put a new air filter in, because when there's not enough airflow going through your furnace, then your heat exchanger gets too hot and then your furnace shuts down. So you got to replace that thing on a monthly basis if you got just one of those little thin ones, or if it's a media filter, which is a thicker, like 4 to 6 inch one, those can go a little bit longer. But you got to do that on a consistent basis. It's like changing the oil on your car. Okay, that's all I want to say. Thanks for checking into this video. See you guys soon. on right now.